So the last update in August, I discussed some trees, puff trees that I was going to work on using this black fiber fill. I've watched a couple more videos, Coffee and Trains, and I think, of course, Larry Puckett had done videos regarding trees and puff trees specifically. So I'm no stranger to how they're done. I was last update debating whether I could get them to work or not and how I could get them to work. So I used the black fiber fill and the 3M Super 77 or 77. I don't know why I like saying 77. So let me show you on the layout how they came out. I've started to place some, and some of them I'm actually pretty pleased with. And I have them on this back hill here. I used Woodland Scenic's coarse turf, I think, and yeah, not the clump foliage, but the coarse turf, and then the super leaf that I use for super trees. So there's a combination. Some have a little bit of everything. These have a little bit of everything. These are just super leaf. This is a little bit of super leaf over the coarse turf, and the colors look pretty good. They don't look too bad in that spot. I need to kind of transition from here and from the clumped area here to this bush if that's going to stay there, but mixing in some actual super trees helps. And then I've got my hydrangea in here. Actually, these two are hydrangea. So I think if I add a little bit of texture in here and then some underbrush in there, I can get that transition. And so that area I'm pretty pleased with. I used skewers, wood skewers. They're not as long as this. This is what I use for my switch machines and derailing, but they are smaller skewers, and I trimmed them. They have a pointy end that I stick into the bottom, and you can see them. I've painted them. They're under there. I want to try to disguise those as much as I can. And then coming over to this section, there's another little clumped area there. I think that works pretty well. I started to add some underbrush in here, fallen leaves and so forth. The colors don't match with the trees above it, so that's an inconsistency there. But again, you know, adding some of the clump foliage, some underbrush, which I'm still working on different techniques for that, I think I can get some good results. And then coming over here, I started to work on the hillside there across the river, and that's not too bad. The placement I'm not 100% pleased with. Up in that middle section there, there's kind of a hole there. Maybe I can fill in with a super tree. So yeah, so I'm actually not too disappointed. I think I got them to work pretty well. I'm not sure, a part of me really wants to kind of just make a whole mess of them, and then start laying them probably from the back or the top of the hill coming down, and I kind of think that could look pretty cool. Otherwise, it's going to take, I don't know, probably 2 packages of super trees to make this look full, which I don't know if I want that investment. So still toying with that idea, but I do kind of like the way they came out in those sections. So that's the tree update. So the next bit is some structure discussion here. I have finally got the placement of pretty much all the structures on the layout. And this is a kit that I just finished, or am just about finished with. I have to do the roof and some extra details. This part here, that was a Foss scale, I think. And it came out really good. I'm super pleased with it. Initially, I had this structure up here. I had scratch built this to fit up here, But once I got this kit up and built, I realized this fits better here and this one will fit better there. I still want to add some stuff to this one. I'm not sure what, but I've got some room. I might add a front porch or something to it. I'm not 100% sure. Some kind of loading, you know, yeah, probably some kind of front porch or something. I'm not sure. But that's going to go there. This I have to put on that roof up there. So that section is pretty well finished. The hillside is pretty well finished. I may add something across the street. I'm not sure. I definitely need a lot more foliage, some more fencing and things, but the structures are pretty much where they are going to be. And then this section here, I got another Skip's chicken and ribs, or ribs and chicken. It's the same kit as this one here. I painted it a different color. Hopefully because of the angles you don't notice and they're spaced far enough apart. Hoping that people don't notice it's the same exact kit. I don't have any other duplicates on the layout, so I'm kind of hoping that that doesn't stand out. But these structures are being finished and completed. I had to redo the whole base plate, and this morning I was working on the roofs. But if you lift this up, I've got everything glued down and my platform there, so I can reach inside and adjust things. And then this is going to get eventually glued on here, and the roofs will go on and all will be good. The next thing I'm trying to think of as far as placement, I guess I lied when I said all the structures are kind of complete, and placement is some kind of passenger depot or station. And there's a Walther's kit, the Golden Valley Depot, I think, is this footprint here. So I've been playing around. I think it would be really cool if I could get one here. This would be kind of like a decent stop. Ran the Rapido last night with the 2 passenger cars, and it fits on this runaround section. So I kind of like the layout of this. If this goes here, I can have at the end of the road, you know, like a little parking lot here or in the back of the passenger station. So I think I can make that work in a realistic way. This footprint also works here, talking about duplicating kits, but I could actually fit that right on the edge there, which would allow for another passenger station here. And then the other one or area would be here. I've wanted one here for the longest time, but I think last night as I was running them, I'm thinking it would be super cool if I had 3 passenger stops. So that's probably the next thing in line, is to kind of work that out. I wouldn't mind doing 2 of the Golden Valley depots, because one would fit here and one would fit on the other side. You would only see the back of it here, and you'd see the front of it, you know, over here. So if I do colors different and things, I could get them, or kind of kit bash some stuff. I could probably get them to look different. So that would be good. And then I'd have to figure out some kind of kit for the other side. So that's the passenger stuff and the structures. I think that's it for structures. So this is the latest addition to the roster, the Alco 600/660. In this scheme, it's an Atlas Silver Series. I bought it at the same time that I bought this decoder, and the decoder selector on Digitrak's website suggested this decoder for this locomotive. I think it gave me a couple of other options, but all the other options were just different versions of this with different functions, and they were all 8-pin. When I got the locomotive and actually opened it up, it actually had a 21-pin decoder in there, and this is the dummy board that you pop off of the PC board that's inside, but it's 21 pins, so they're not compatible. Obviously, there's different adapters and things that you could probably go with, but I've never been a fan of using any kind of adapter for anything, whether it be train related or otherwise. So I wanted to get a 21-pin decoder to pop in there and so have something plug and play. I didn't want to redo anything, rewire anything, hardwire, whatever. So I ended up going with a Soundtrax mobile decoder, 21-pin, pops right in, powered right up, no problem. So there's a little discrepancy there on the Digitrax website. I contacted them to let them know that their selector did not allow for the different releases of these. It's probably just an oversight. I don't hold it against them. I still love Digitrax. I contacted them. I never heard back from them, but I did contact Atlas to find out what decoders, just so I didn't have a second decoder that wouldn't be compatible with this Locomotive. And they said any 21-pin decoder would work. So I went with the Soundtracks and have been pleased with that. It was a direct plug-in, no problem. Swapped out this, popped it out, and it's been great. So just a little FYI and a little introduction to this Locomotive. In trying to operate this, I did find another issue with my entire system. I had issues with this running smoothly, and long story short, I found out that it was actually the cable that went from my power cab to the fascia panel. I think this part here had gotten just bent back and forth so much that cables inside came, or wires came loose inside, and so it stopped the connection. I would lose the screen, and if I fiddled with the cord, it would come back on. But it got to a point where essentially the screen would come on, but there was no track power anywhere. And that was, I think, intermittent, and it was dropping power on the track as it was going, as I was test driving this guy. And I was thinking that maybe it was a decoder problem or a motor issue, but I think it was the cord, because eventually I lost all power to my layout, had to get a new replacement cable, which is on there now. And when I did so, this guy's been running a lot smoother ever since. So I think that was the issue. But at first I thought, oh gosh, I went through the whole Digitrax Soundtracks thing, got the right decoder in there, and now there's something wrong with the motor. Which brings me to the next little issue that I had that got resolved. So as far as I know, those two things are resolved and no issues. And then the last bit is my RS11 finally came back from Rapido. It was funny because this came in the mail the same day I got my cable for my layout, which was fantastic because I could power things right up and check this. It took me about 45 minutes or an hour to get the little details and things placed back on. There was some damage during either my delivery or their redelivery back to me. One of the lift handles broke off the top, which I need to replace. But Rapido sent me back the Locomotive, fully functional, set up to the address that I had. It runs great, runs super smooth, no jittery operation. And they said they replaced the motor for me, and that was fantastic. I have nothing but great things to say about Rapido because this was bought used, and I didn't have a warranty card. But when I emailed them initially and said, look, this is what I've got, this is my problem, they said send it back to us and use the warranty process. So I listened to them, and they held true to their word, and they fixed it, delivered it. They said it would they said if I didn't hear from them in 4 to 6 weeks to contact them. I think it had been 5 weeks, and I was thinking about contacting them just to double check, because I get a little scared when I send stuff out that, the companies don't place the product with me and, make that connection and so forth, and things can get lost. So they returned it, honored the warranty, didn't have to pay anything other than shipping to them. They paid for the shipping back, and it's back and running. So the last part of the update is more of a review of these details that I got from Eeeweegeewee off eBay. I will provide a link or the actual name of the person that I bought them from, or the store that I bought them from. They have fantastic parts. I tried to contact the seller. The company or brand is Eeeweegeewee, spelled kind of how it sounds with lots of E's. And I got a set that had a bunch of different stuff. There are everything from dumpsters chimneys, air conditioners. The details on these things are absolutely amazing. There's some propane tanks. The details are amazing. They're super smooth. They're 3D printed. You can see, I guess, some of the print texture. I don't know anything about 3D printing. On the tops of the dumpsters, there's a slight texture. The only visible texture that, excuse me, I kind of noticed that was kind of annoying was on the awnings. I don't know if it even shows up on the screen. There's print lines going this way, horizontally, which kind of distracts from the vertical stripes. And they're three-dimensional. I mean, they're not just striped. It's like the dark part is indented, if that makes sense. Again, pardon my lack of 3D printing knowledge. They came with trash cans, which were great. But let me show you. There's tons of stuff. They came in a whole bunch of different bags. Again, I forget the set I got, but I got the more expensive set. It had like 250 pieces. Had park benches. There's lights that I need to do. Mailboxes. Park benches. Recyclable or trash cans, which are too new for my layout. Tons and tons of different roof details. Pallets. There's these kinds of things which I have from a Walder's kit that I got, but gazillions of like stovepipe kind of things. Sorry, I bumped the camera. And then I really got this set. I have like a whole tray full of stuff here that I didn't use yet. So there's all kinds of different pieces. And then I still have 2 bags. These are pallets and fans. And then these are the kind of like the lights and the mailboxes and stuff. So let's go to the layout. I'm working on getting some of these. These are all primed, and I'm getting these up. And I just, before I started filming this section, I started to add the mortar lines on the chimneys. And the detail on the 3D printing of this is fantastic. I don't know if you can see the edge of that, the corner, but there's a high relief on there. So like painting the brick on top of, which is kind of my method, is I'll paint oil paint on top of the mortar. So I do the mortar first and then paint the brick with oil paint so it doesn't flow into the cracks. And which is kind of counterproductive because usually, or intuitive, because usually the oil paint has capillary effect better than water because it has a thinner or less of a surface tension. But using not runny oil paint, but just oil paint out of the tube, it's got a high enough thickness or viscosity, whatever, that it doesn't go into those mortar lines. But they're going to be super easy because of the detail. So around the layout, I really got it for like the venting, the HVAC stuff. And some of this probably is not prototypical to the 50s. I did look up there. They do have AC. There was AC in the 50s, even earlier. So that's cool. This could be just some kind of shop exhaust fan or something. But they come in different parts and pieces, and you can kind of assemble them how you want. But they look fantastic on the building. So I probably did too many details around the layout, more than I will remember to show you. But that's one that came out really cool. Here are the awnings. You can, I don't know if it's going to pick up the texture on there. Maybe on the, yeah, you can probably on the one on the right, you can kind of see the texture. I could probably sand those down a little bit, smooth them out. I'm not sure. Those are the benches that I put in there, glued down. And there's actually wood texture on the benches. Again, I don't know if it's showing up on the screen, but there's actually wood texture. I did paint them and things so that they hopefully look more wood-like, but there's actual three-dimensional texture printed in on those. What else? I added an AC unit on the wall there, And I did a fan back here. Again, the products came quickly. I'm super impressed with the, I added an air conditioning unit on that window there. Again, I don't know, I know they were expensive back then. I'm not sure how prototypical to the era that is, but some hatches for roof access it came with. That's one of the AC units that it came with here. I added one here that goes into the wall there, and just weathered them using my typical techniques. I have another vent kind of thing, HVAC, ductwork. I was looking for that word. So there's some more ductwork there on here as well. A dumpster that's been painted. I'm not sure if that dumpster is prototypical for the 50s, but I put a green one there. I painted these, they were all that gray, and I primed them a darker gray. There's another dumpster. Just added variety. What else did I add around the layout? Oh, they came with some crates, so I put a crate there and another one here. I put some more ductwork on top of this roof to kind of give this a much better look to it. Like there's actually some stuff going on the inside of the building. That was on this kit, but it did come with some roof access, some more roof access. Here's another hatch style roof access. I think that's roof access, unless it's some kind of, I'm not sure. I know I've seen those. I'm not sure what they're used for. Somebody can help out on that. Another AC unit and ductwork. Another one of those things. Oh, and then it came with roof access, like a door, you know, that would come up from stairs, and it came with 4 of those. Again, Eeeweegeewee. I'll provide a link to the store. They don't have a ton, or he or she doesn't have a ton of different packages that you could get, but this package had the most variety. I'm trying to think what else. I did a lot. It was super fun to do too. Trying to think, walking around, what else I did. I know there was some other stuff that I put in. Oh, it came with an ice box that I put on here. Double sectioned ice box there, or ice machine, ice, I don't know what you call those things, but it came with one of those, so I painted that. The letters on there, the ICE, those were reliefed as well, so they were super easy to paint. I put the these are 2 of the chimneys that it came with that I painted and put on these 2 structures. I think some more of the crates I put down there and there. And I think that might be it for that. But again, I've got tons of pieces still left. And I put one of the roof accesses over on this building too that I forgot to show you. So that one, I think I need to, yeah, that's not glued down. I glued that one down. I need to paint this. But this is, you know, what they look like. I primed it, and you can see I missed a spot. But yeah, I can't speak enough about these pieces. Super detailed. I'm trying to think of what other products they have. Oh, there's like a tool set that I think I'm gonna probably get. It's got a bunch of like hand tools and things. Some more, I'm trying to think, mailboxes and so forth. Oh, it came with these newspaper machines where you get newspapers from, which are super cool. And again, I just can't express how cool they are. The fans are really cool too. It almost looks like they're made out of 2 pieces. They're 1 piece, but they look super cool. I haven't done any of the pallets yet, but the fans look pretty cool. So what I did is, this is the back of it, I think, or maybe the front. No, that's probably the back. So what I did is I painted the blades first, and then I painted, because they are recessed down, because there's, you know, some good detail on there. I don't know if it's showing up. How if you turn it this way, the blades actually stick up from the grating part of it. Again, I don't know if that shows up, but again, check them out, Eeeweegeewee. Again, I can't say enough nice things about them. I tried to contact the seller. I didn't get a reply, just to thank the person and rave about the stuff. But yeah, so fun project for a couple of days, priming them, painting them, and I've still got tons of stuff left over. Check it out. And that's going to wrap it up for the September update. So stay safe, be good, enjoy September, and we'll see you next month.